iDad, a podcast about catching up and nerding out.
With anyone whose awesomeness levels rival mine.
So level up your awesomeness and welcome to the Fandemic.
Welcome to the Fandemic. This is a podcast about different people and what they are a fan of. I'm sure there'll be plenty of sidetracks, but I just really like to get to know people I may or may not know and just see where we end up. I'm the self-proclaimed Emperor of Awesome, Bradley Butin, and today I'm talking to C.A. Kanooble. Am I saying that right?
You sure are.
Awesome. Host of Ho on the Go, the podcast, author, and comedian, and so much more. CA, welcome to the Fandemic.
Thanks for having me. I'm pretty excited to be here.
Yeah, this is a couple weeks in the making. So, man, the Wakanda Forever just took over my entire life.
I still have yet to see it, so.
Oh, so I'm a marketing and events manager for a theater here in town in Iowa. And so, like, man, holy cow, that thing was huge.
I believe it. Yeah.
So how are we doing today?
Doing great. I got the kid home today, played hooky. Don't tell anybody, but it was the day before Thanksgiving and it was a half a day anyway. So like, why get up early and catch the bus? Like, what's the point?
Yeah, mine actually didn't have school today, which I was like, we go out for every Wednesday. We go out for breakfast. My wife, my daughter, and I, and like apparently I can't remember that she doesn't have school. So I was like, all right, let's go to school. She's like, Daddy. I'm like, all right, fine. Awesome. How old's your daughter?
Well, my son, he's 10.
Sorry.
He just turned 10 on the 6th, actually.
Wow. So my daughter is also 10.
Very nice.
She turned 10 back in June. And she is me except without the beard.
Yeah, my son's definitely me with different parts. So
right. It's fun. Isn't it funny how that works out?
It is.
Oh, awesome. So CA, so tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I kind of wear many hats. So I'm a comedian. I'm an author. I wrote a book called The Ho Handbook, which I'm actually reworking to relaunch in hopefully June from a 30-year-old perspective because I'm a little less toxic now.
Right.
I'm a big mental health advocate and also a patient. So I have that going for me as well. I created the MKP or Mentally Kill Project. After this year has been a very, very long one for me. Like I still can't believe it's still November. Like this year still has yet to end. So yeah, other than that, I'm a mom, a hoe, comedian, author, mental health advocate, patient, and many things.
Jack of all trades and master of none. I hear
Absolutely.
you there. Yeah, I actually wrote a couple kids' book. One kid book has been published. And my second kid's book is coming out next month. So, and I'm also reworking my kid's book into a coloring book. So, and I'm like very one of those positive type of people. Like my kid's book is called Leveling Up My Awesome, and it's all kind of about my daughter. But then I'm like, well, everybody needs to be awesome. So now my coloring book is going to be like a drawing thing. I don't know. We're still working on. And my second book is called The Stuffed Animal Night Force, about stuffed animals that ward off bad dreams.
That's exciting,
right? I wrote it like years ago, and I'm like, I can't illustrate. I'm creative. I have a creative brain. I can come up with cool ideas and stuff, but I can't draw stick people.
Same. Yeah. I do graphic design, so mine is all like on the app through graphics. I don't draw anything, so.
That is awesome. One of my best friends used to be a graphic artist as well. So also mental health, another big thing. My wife suffers from mental health, depression and anxiety and stuff like that. And man, I never dealt with that side of it until we got together, and sometimes she just needs to take a little break. She needs to tag in me, and I'm okay with that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mine are a little more severe than that, but
yeah, that's okay. That is okay. So I'm a storyteller and a pretty big nerd. I must admit, I love an origin story. What's your professional and your personal origin story, as much as you want to give away?
Well,
The flies.
I know. I just, I'm like, you mother. They were so bad this year. Like, this is going to be my villain story right here.
Right.
I'm going to be like the fly destroyer. I'm telling you, this is
Where's Jeff Goldblum?
Really?
Right.
It's just, there's like one or two in here that are persistent. No matter how much fly spray I put down, the tapes, the traps, everything. These two. And they're only supposed to live for like, I think, 15 days?
Right.
No, these guys have been in here for like, excuse me, for like 2 months. They will
or
not.
It's a generational thing, right? They've actually trained their kids.
They're literally out to get me. I'm telling you. And I just washed my hair too, so it's like the fumes. I turned the light off, so now I look like I'm in Taxi Cab Confessions for a reason, and they're still in my face. So
have you named them yet?
You might see me do some like judo chopping, but
I'll join you. I'll join you there.
Maybe you can help me swat them from afar.
Right.
But so for my origin story, especially when it came to mental health, kind of started with somebody trying to end my life at 18. Obviously failed. So just like me this year, who also made an attempt, failed. So this is one thing we have in common. But when it comes to where everything kind of started, it started there, because where I was supposed to be 18 and kind of discovering who I am, I lost my entire identity that day. So it was just like a long drug smoking, I don't consider weed a drug, but it is for all intents and purposes. So a lot of smoking, a lot of just avoidance. I didn't really want to deal with it. So in 2020, I was like, you know what? I'm going to see a therapist, because the reason that I was even a hoe or wrote the hoe handbook was because I didn't trust men to be in a relationship. So I chose the hoe route instead. And I wouldn't be there if it wasn't for that. But at the same time, in 2020, I was like, you know what? I should probably like see a therapist. Like, this is not normal behavior. Like, one bald guy does me dirty, now they're all trash. Like, I can't think like that,
Bearded?
He was not bearded. No.
Okay, good. I bald, bearded, and beautiful. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to say I don't treat all bald men like that.
Thank you.
Not anymore. But in my original,
I could put a hat.
In my original hoe handbook, it's in there. And I'm like, girl, we cannot. And I'm starting to scratch things out. Like, this is toxic. We can't do this. But once I started seeing a therapist, I was maybe 5 weeks into our sessions, and we really started getting into my trauma, because I had a lot of recessed memories of what happened to me. So the more violent parts, I had no idea. When we started really getting into it, my 18-year-old sister passed away, and it caused an even worse downhill spiral. So now, where instead of smoking, there was snorting, and I gave myself a heart attack earlier this year at 30.
Wow.
From it. Yeah. And then a week later, made an attempt. And that's kind of where I went to the institution for a couple weeks, took a little grippy sock vacation, as I like to call it. Feel like it's a rite of passage for comedians, because, can you really be funny unless you're really sad? No.
True. Yeah. Been there. I was there. My drug of choice went straight up my nose too.
Yeah.
I was in the military, and then got out of the military, and I was just drank a lot. And then my daughter was actually born on my 30th birthday, and that was kind of my like rebirth. So did you get him?
I think I did. Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, yes, die, fly. You're not Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
I want half a shirt.
I think one down, one to go now.
Right?
I think I got him. Sorry.
But yeah, so like, and then when that happened, after she was born, I was just like, nope, never again. That was kind of the turnaround in my life. But yeah, it's crazy how just something happens, and it's like a light switch,
Yeah, so for me, it was my little sister, because she was the same age I was when I went through my trauma. So kind of triggered things for me, and just went real downhill. I even crashed my car, got a DUI, and I had a squeaky clean record. I do a lot of community service. I was a Cub Scout den leader. I did not get in trouble. That's just not something I did. I've always been a single parent working 2 jobs. I'm only 31 now, so I had my son at 21. So from 2 years after my trauma, I was a mom.
Yeah. Yeah, been there. I'm so glad I made it through. I look back, and the reason why I know I'll never win the lottery is because I got away with all the stupid stuff I did in my 20s, and I'm like, man, I can't. I made it through the other side unscathed. Knock on wood. Like good now. So yeah, exactly. Wanna. And I'm thankful for that, So if I never win the $1.5 billion, I'm still gonna try,
I mean, I look back like at all the money I spent, like, girl,
Right?
all that money. Like,
Yeah.
that's how I
Yeah,
look back.
yeah, and you're like, and it was like nothing, and you're like, oh, just go spend this, and now
Right,
I'm
like,
like,
what's $300? I'm like, girl, that's like a whole Christmas budget. What the hell were you thinking?
I'm like, do I want an Xbox Series S? Do I want a PlayStation 5? Because
Nah, I'd rather,
I'm gonna put it up my nose and be okay,
it's fine,
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, I still paid all my bills and stuff. So now I'm looking back, like, how much money did I make that year? Because I was spending hella money on that side stuff, and my bills were still getting paid. And I need to know how, because I was living paycheck to paycheck with
Yeah.
2 jobs.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. In the math just doesn't work out. I mean, not like math ever really works out anyway. I'm not a math person. My wife is an accountant, and so she could do the math. I'm like math to me, math like what? You solve your own problems. I'm out. I don't care. Just go away. Go away.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was like I literally go like dollar by dollar for my budget because I do accounts payable and receivable as part of my other job. It's project coordination, but I did budgeting and accounts payable and receivable, and you saw that death glare, right?
I did.
But yeah, I just like the math ain't mathin'. I'm like, where did this money come from? Because the math is not mathin'. And now I'm looking at my savings going, I know where the money went. Yep. I know where it went.
Yeah, my daughter Leia, so she just gave me a little note. I made a pizza and used the tin foil, and now the pizza is stuck on the tin foil, and I want my pizza. Please help. Give it a couple minutes, and it should be okay. Make sure you take the spatula and go underneath the pizza, okay, when it's warm, so you don't burn yourself, okay? Okay. Give it about 5 or 10 minutes. You should be fine, all right? she finds a way into every podcast. Yep, and it's awesome.
I want to say something.
No.
I want to say.
There's somebody on the side like, I want to say something now.
Yep, I'm fine with it if you are.
What is it? Just say.
She's determined to have that pizza.
She is determined to have the pizza, he says.
Oh yes. She will. She absolutely will. She'll end up folding into like a pizza sandwich because it's a Totino's. Because I mean, like, who doesn't like Totino's? The dollar used to be a dollar. Pizzas. Right. It's the greatest like $1.12 that you can buy for pizza.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, they taste better than Tombstone, in my opinion. But
yeah, Tombstone's trash. Let's not sugarcoat it. Tombstone is trash.
Tombstone, Jack's, all those are. I mean, did you see the new DiGiorno? It's like ultimate cheese, where there's like cheese underneath the crust, and then the stuffed crust. I mean, and then the pizza. It's like $12.
I love stuffed crust pizza, so I would totally buy that.
Yeah, me too. And I did. I did, and it was freaking amazing. I should not have ate that whole pizza. I really shouldn't have. It was super yummy. I recommend get the ultimate at least once. You can do it once a year. You can, yes, you're probably not going to crap for a day or two. That's okay. That's okay. We can't be number one all the time.
That's right.
Awesome. All right. So, what work are you most proud of?
I would definitely say my mental health project is definitely what I'm most proud of. It took a lot of work to get to where I'm at with that. So, I started it when I got out of the hospital. It was really because, like, I got my diagnosis, multiple, plural, And it was kind of like, here you go, pat on the butt with some lithium and sent me on my way. And I'm like, but what is this condition? Like, what am I doing here? Like,
Right.
what do I like? Do I have a therapist lined up? No, nothing. And for me, I really still needed outpatient.
Yeah.
Because my family expected me to come out like, all right, back to norm. Let's get it. Back to working 2 jobs and being a mom again. And it was kind of
that doesn't
like,
work.
what century is it? Because I'm on so many meds and I'm still adjusting. I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
So for me, I created my mental health project, which started as just a podcast, an informational podcast. And it went over to 12 main mental health conditions and kind of like the snack pack, so to speak, for people who like didn't want to know the whole history, but wanted to know enough to maybe not trigger their friends or family, or maybe know what the signs look like in yourself or in someone else. And I'm proud to say I actually just got finished fighting with my streaming platform of choice because they did not like the name and they kept removing it. So I finally got that worked out. So now I can finally launch that part of the project because everything else has already launched in the beginning of October. So it started with that, and I made a Facebook page to go with it, and it has albums with each different mental health condition. It is full of like memes and quotes and coping strategies and mechanisms. And then it has just albums for like recovery and, just resources for people to go and find whatever they need when it comes to mental health. The page also goes live every Tuesday on Instagram and on Facebook and YouTube with what I like to call Talk It Out Tuesdays, which is where I really just pick a different topic. Like this week, it was control. And we kind of talk about that. But it's free for whoever wants to join the conversation. I used to post just a StreamYard link on Facebook, but learned after the very first one, not quite the way to go because there are a lot of trolls out there, and I'm not going to say what he did, but there was some video footage that was shown that I still have yet to go back and edit that out to even post the first one.
Man,
But
that's too bad.
Yeah.
People like that, like, why can't you just, if you don't want to be part of it, why just ignore it? I don't understand.
Yeah, they just like to troll, and you know what? That's okay. It was a lesson learned.
Yeah.
But I have also, as part of this project, been doing interviews with people around the world with different mental health conditions or advocates, doctors, or even friends of family of people who have different mental health conditions to give a real in-depth look at what life is like with symptoms, but also if you have a friend or family member with symptoms, because it is really easy for those of us who are mentally ill to forget that our behaviors affect the people around us. So that was kind of the reason why. So I launched 2 of those a week now.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. For the longest time, I mean, I would, because my wife would hit a low, and I'm just want to help, and there was no help. It was just like, hey, like, what do you need? Well, she didn't know, so it was just like one of those, like, okay, well,
good question.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I came and I did some research and stuff, and I just came like, okay, well, I just need her to see me. I like so when she's ready or whatever she does end up needing, I'm there to do that, so like if it's watching TV or if it's just being around, so yeah, it sucks, but you just gotta stick with it.
That's right.
You love somebody, that doesn't change. You gotta just keep going.
Right. It's just some days you gotta love them a little more. So
yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put it, and it's like and she knows I'm never gonna go anywhere. I mean, like, I love my life. I can't find any faults. I got a cool job. I got to be creative. I don't work all the hours she likes. She doesn't like some of the hours I work, but I mean, she likes her job. We work like a mile and a half away from home.
That's a little beautiful.
Right. I mean, like, gas prices were going skyrocketing, and I'm like, I could walk to work, but I'm not gonna. This is Iowa, and I don't know what season we're getting today.
Fair. That's fair. I've been to Iowa one time, so I know.
Yeah. What part of Iowa?
Well, I went to Knotfest last year.
Oh,
it was
very
beautiful.
Cool. Yes.
Yeah. So I forget what part that's in. It was.
I think it was right around Des Moines. You're pretty close.
Yeah, it wasn't far from Des Moines, but it was like some outskirts where the balloon field is.
Yep, Indiana. Yeah, Indiana or not
Indianola. There you go.
Yeah. Yes. I've met several members of Slipknot several times
I'm
actually.
jealous. I'm
Yeah.
not.
As a matter of fact,
It was insane.
my oldest daughter is 20, and her friend dated one of their sons.
Nice.
They were in the same friend group and stuff like that. Good kid. I mean,
Yeah, they
they're
have their
all
own.
good kids.
Their sons have their own band now too. I think
Mhm.
it's like Fever 333. It might be.
Yeah, man, and like
They
it's
were
cool.
good too.
It like these guys, like you'll just see them randomly around town. Like, oh yeah, there's Corey. You
Oh,
know,
I'm on my way.
yeah. Just like I mean, I saw him I've seen him in a Target in Walmart before. I mean, I don't fan out or anything. It's just like
I would have. I would have slid over on my knees, Michael Jackson style, like, hey,
Nah,
how else are you gonna remember me?
Remember the Dr. Pepper, like the guy that slides in, singing the soul, whatever. What is that? I can't think of it now. I remember those commercials. It was like Dr. Pepper. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, it reminds me of that. Yeah.
Knotfest was absolutely insane. There were 30,000 people. We were in the middle of a pandemic, and not one F word was given on that particular day. We were packed body to body. Actually, I got a pic from Lamb of God because we were literally front row.
Yeah.
And he threw it to me and missed, and somebody snatched it. And he saw my face like I was devastated. So he made eye contact with me and he's going like this, and I'm going, I'll try my best, because I'm 5'2", but I got the second one and I gave it to the friend that I went with. So, but I do have pictures of it, and it has like the guitarist, it has his picture on the pic. I'm like, this is so cool. That thing
is
went
awesome.
right in the boob pocket so it wouldn't get lost. But it was actually like, it was great because they had like a roller coaster, they had a museum, or they had like a little section set up for Joey Jordison. Mm-hmm. And so many bands. Tech Nine was there, which was amazing. I love Tech Nine. Suicide Boys, I probably would have left them off the roster. Their fan base are violent. And I know I'm saying that as an avid Slipknot fan. Yes, I am a maggot over here. But their fan base, it was like we were 3 rows away from Slipknot by the time they came on. And I fought as a 5'2" girl to get there. Many elbows were thrown that day, okay? And no apologies were given. But when their fan base came on, it was kind of like they just kept surging to the front, but there's nowhere to surge. So people were just getting trampled. And it was just like, can y'all calm down? It was a lot of younger kids. Where you Slipknot, you got 30 and up club. And we're like, dude, I'm already out past my bedtime. Don't test me, all right? Half of us have kids at home. We know how to wrestle, okay? So it was really good. A lot of crowd surfing, and I wouldn't crowd surf because once you crowd surf to the front, you got to go all the way to the back, and I did not fight that hard to get that far up.
I've never understood that. I like why people do that just for that reason. I'm like, why? I mean,
well, there's one guy. It is literally like his fan page for this as the crowd walker. He walks across the crowd instead of surfing. Like they literally lift him up and he just walks.
Man.
And you see him, I'm like, there he goes. Man, a lot of cool people there.
Oh yeah. I have not I have not been to like a hard rock concert in a long time. Now I mean like I'm at the like, hey, you know what? I don't think I need to go to a concert with that many people. I think I'm good. I could just download the music.
I would go back in a heartbeat. I had a fantastic time. I smuggled 2 pints of whiskey in my titties, and I actually lost my phone. Fun fact, I lost my phone right after Slipknot came on. So I missed half the recording opportunities that I wanted to get because they sang all of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
And the one scene that I got was like, I can't take you, crazy mother, ever, anywhere. And I was like, yeah, that's like one clip I got I was really excited about. But after the show, not only did I find like 10 t-shirts on the ground, I got headbutted as I was looking on the ground for my phone because apparently somebody dropped something else not related to t-shirts. And I did not see it, nor did I want it. But, I got headbutted. And I went over to security. I was like, did you see? Because I had an iPhone 12, like Plus, Pro, Max,
Uh-huh.
whatever it is. It was like new, you know?
Mhm.
I was like, did you see my phone? And he's like, is it this one? I'm like, yeah, it's that one, you know?
Wow, what are the chances of that?
Really? Because he had like 6
Mm.
phones on him. He's like, all right, you're going to have to tell me which one it is, and you're going to have to prove it's yours. I was like, it looks like this. It has this on the back because it was dead, of course. So I couldn't even like say, hey, put this code in, you know?
Uh-huh.
But thankfully, he believed that it was mine and gave me my phone back. So
Wow, that's awesome.
it was with 30,000 people in there, and it wasn't even cracked, not a scratch.
Wow.
Right. Talk
Yes.
about divine intervention. The
Right?
not gods were looking out for me that day.
They definitely were. Yeah, I bought a couple years ago, well, actually probably like 5 years ago. I got 2 metal detectors because I wanted to like go to like the fairgrounds and like those big concerts. One, they
Yeah.
were done, and then like just go find stuff. I mean, great idea. Never implemented. They're just in my garage. I'm like, "Oh,
I found literally like 6 t-shirts
that's awesome.
after paying for one. I was like, come on, man, I just paid $50 for this. And I found like 4 scattered around. Couple pairs, there was like sunglasses, there was jewelry. I don't pick up jewelry. I just gave that to security because I
Yeah.
don't want their stuff.
Right.
You know, even with the D word, there was some D words scattered around that I didn't touch either because I was like, it ain't that kind of party. I'm in my 30s now.
Right.
We
Right.
don't pick up random stuff we find on the ground. You know, we don't
Nope.
do that anymore. We either buy it or it's not there. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. So yeah, but there were a lot of younger kids like really scouring the grounds for stuff. And I was like, "Oh, I remember those days, you
Yep.
know?"
When I was there, you were in diapers.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, oh, you young kids.
Oh, you don't really know.
One of you are going to the hospital tonight.
The little whippersnappers.
Who's
Awesome.
driving you home?
Right. Is your mom here? Yeah.
Mom's waiting in the parking lot while they're scouring the ground looking for free stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So what are some of your favorite TV shows, movies, stuff like that?
So I don't really watch much TV or movies. I will say that, but I do have some honorable mentions
Yeah.
that I have watched. The House on Bly Manor or something like
Yeah,
that.
Bly Manor on Netflix.
That was fantastic.
Mhm.
And like trigger warning for anybody who does not have siblings that passed away, or anybody who does have siblings who passed away like me. I was not given a trigger warning. Very emotional, but it was a great storyline. And it was they haunted. There's 2 of them.
Yeah, there's 3 now.
What?
There's a new one. Yeah, so I think the House on Haunted Hill or something like Hill
Yeah.
House. Hill House. Yeah, so that
Hill
actually,
House and then Bly Manor. And then now there's a 3rd one. Because
Yeah,
I'm like over to Netflix right now.
right. It's there's Midnight Mass, but that one is kind of off of it. It's by the same person, by Mike Flanagan, and then he just had a new one that came out as well. And gosh, I can't even think of it. It's in the new releases right now. It is about this kid who had her life going on. Then she finds out she's got terminal cancer, stuff like that. She gets put in this kind of like institution type thing,
Oh,
and then her and all these people start seeing things in the
Oh,
Mike
of
Flanagan
course.
ways. And gosh, now I can't. You know what? I gotta look it up now.
But yeah, those are definitely honorable mentions for me for TV shows. Obviously, Buffy the Vampire Slayer is like A1 day 1 in my book.
Mm-hmm.
Always. What else? I mean, Sailor Moon. If we're throwing it back. Great show. And they just actually created a new one, and I loved it because it literally fit in perfectly from where the last one left off years ago. So kudos to them for that. Movie-wise, I like classics. I like Gone with the Wind. It's one of my favorite books and movies of all time. I don't care what anybody says. You can never say anything negative about it, and it will change my mind. That movie, so many good quotes from that book. Like, so many.
Yeah. And it's a piece of history, you know, and if you don't remember history, you're just going to repeat it. The Midnight Club is what it's called. The Midnight Club.
I will have to check that out.
Yes, and it just came out like a month ago. It's like came out right before Halloween.
Sweet.
So,
yeah, I don't watch TV, so I did watch a few seasons of American Horror Story. I really liked that. I like things with a good storyline. It has to have a good storyline. Like the Terrifier.
And different.
Love that. Terrifier was great.
Mm.
Had a great storyline.
Do you
Kind
see
of gory. What?
Do you see Terrifier 2?
Not yet, but
Okay.
my friend just gave me her login so I could watch it. So guess
Gotcha.
what I'm doing tonight? I'm so excited.
You'll have to let me know what you think. So
someone told me it's kind of like if Terrifier 1 did a bunch of booger sugar and then went back on a killing rampage. And I wholeheartedly believe that.
I mean, that is a very good definition. Very good. Yeah. So we got Terrifier 2, kind of like a last minute thing at our theater, and it only ran for 3 days. It was a 3-day run, and it sold out pretty much everywhere. But people were trying to sneak in because they weren't 17, you know. I mean, like,
yeah, of course.
Like we caught, I don't know how many people I caught trying to sneak people in. I'm like, these are assigned seats, kids. Like, you sneak somebody in, and you're sitting in somebody else's seat. It's
right.
A sold out show. You know, I mean, like,
unless you're sitting on the floor in the corner where nobody can see you, you're kind of getting caught here.
So. Right. So, but yeah, I was Terrifier 2. I think you're gonna like it. I can't wait to hear what you think about it as well.
I know I'm gonna love it. I love horror movies because nothing scares me. Just once you get through the trauma that I went through, there ain't really much that could scare you. So,
man, mine is Children of the Corn. I can't even listen to the theme of Children of the Corn to this day. I remember as a kid growing up, my sister locking me out of the house after watching them when I'm like 10. And then there's cornfields behind me, and to this day, every year for Halloween, wife and kids, they all like to ha funny. It's nope, Children of the Corn. Nope, can do about anything. Not Children of the Corn. Nope.
So, fun fact: my son, when he was in maybe 2nd grade, his teacher asked him what his favorite movie was. His answer was Children of the Corn. And I didn't know if that was like a parenting win or if they were going to call DHS. Like, I had no idea where we were going with that. But he loves Stephen King movies. So,
yes. Have you watched Dr. Sleep?
Yes. It's been a long time, but yeah.
I mean, Ewan McGregor is one of my favorite people in the world, my favorite actors. I love Ewan McGregor. Yes. I'm a huge Star Wars nut. I mean, my daughter's name is Leia.
My son's name is Luke.
So, CA, did we just become best friends?
It's an Easter egg.
There's a little Easter egg. He says, yeah, his name is Luke. So
my dad's his first word.
We know. His dad's first words to him were, Luke, I am your father. And he was kicked out of the hospital room immediately. So
that was awesome. Luke, you are amazing. That is awesome. You are
I think that's crazy. Our children are the same age and their name is Luke and Leia. That's awesome.
Yep, we just became friends.
Yeah, we did. Yep. The best of friends.
Yep, we're best friends now. It's awesome. Sweet. So, with that being said, what's the best Star Wars movie?
Oh, don't do that. See, I'm gonna have to go. I gotta go with the newer ones with Natalie Portman, man.
So you're going for the prequels, okay? So
yeah, I gotta go with the prequels. But
go for the mama.
But which one?
That's a good question.
Which one you think?
I don't really know that much about Star Wars movies.
He doesn't know the names of them. It was hard to get him to sit through them to begin with. Oh, God.
Well, I mean, I get you. I mean, like, Leia, named after Princess Leia, can't sit through any of the Star Wars movies. Been married to my wife for 12 years. And do you think she has watched the Star Wars movies? No, absolutely not. Even though 1 year for Father's Day, I got a coupon book saying that she was going to watch all the Star Wars movies with me, but I didn't read the fine print. It said on there that she could sleep.
The struggle.
She outsmarted me. I mean, it's obvious. Of course she's going to outsmart. She outsmarts me and she boobsticates me. And those are the things. She boobsticates me and then she just gets what she... yeah.
To be fair, I haven't watched any of the newer ones.
Yeah, I mean, all Star Wars to me is good Star Wars. I mean, like, even the bad Star Wars, it's still Star Wars. But, like, my favorite's Empire Strikes Back. So
I was going to say Revenge of the Sith, to be honest.
So... Revenge of the Sith is a man. I mean, like, there's Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor is so fantastic. So fantastic.
Period.
Oh, yes. So I know you kind of touched a little bit about it. How did you make that call into getting into podcasting?
So I actually, when I got out of the hospital, had a friend who had a podcasting network.
That's
And he was like, "Hey, I need a comedy podcast. How do you feel about doing one?" And I was like, "Fuck it. Why not?" You know,
Yeah.
I had never listened to a podcast a day in my life at that point. But I was like, "Why not? It's something new." So I ended up actually starting it 3 weeks after, which for me, I'm in marketing and advertising, is not enough time. But
Right.
I managed to scrape together like 300 followers before I launched an episode, so that was good.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, and I look back at it like that's actually pretty good considering I only had a couple weeks, you
Pretty
know.
freaking amazing, actually. That's pretty way awesome.
Yeah, but I had a lot of people who were excited because it was based off my Ho handbook, and a lot of people who knew my comedy were really excited about it. I had a co-host with me who's a good friend of mine. It was actually the person who gave me stage time my first time to go on and do live comedy. So that lasted 2 episodes, and it was like the person who got me started was kind of a narcissist, and it was just not a good situation. And they actually, it wasn't even me leaving, it was actually right before my 3rd episode was to go live, they all blocked me and no word about it. You see me laughing about it now, but at the time I was like, what the I was like, what is going on? Because we were late every episode because of them, and it was like constantly something. And it was like, hey, I kind of hate this, so let's fix it. And I'm like, what am I fixing? Like, this is based off my book. Like, there's no fixing this,
Yeah.
And actually I've moved those episodes as bonus episodes now. I don't even include them as part of my show.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, after that, it was just kind of me figuring it out on my own, figuring out StreamYard, figuring out how to go live. And you could kind of see how it progresses from the first episode on. Because the first episode I did on my own was called Rear-Ended, and it was about getting rear-ended. And I had a couple guests on, and it actually went really well. Still one of my most watched episodes.
Cool.
Because people really liked me stepping out on my own and not being interrupted every 10 seconds by the person because the person who had the podcasting network had their own show. So they would pop in as, hey, this is blank the blank, and I'm like, get out of my episode. You are not part of the show. Like, please leave my episode.
Yeah.
But we all live and learn. That's kind of how I got my start into podcasting. And now I've done like a bajillion interviews, guest spots, and I think I have about 32 episodes now out.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I had started off with the Fandemic a while ago, and then I kind of took a little break because I also do another podcast called Prevenge of the Nerds with a buddy of mine. Nice. And then I decided, I'm like, I just want to talk to people and just talk to cool people because people don't do that anymore. So that I'm like, okay, how do I turn my Fandemic into that? So I went on like about a month hiatus and kind of just started. I reached out to a bunch of people. I found you on Podcast Network, a few other people, and I'm like, all right, I can have good conversations with these people. And like every person I've talked to, I'm friends with now. I'm like, I would high five you in real life and buy you a beer. Like,
yeah,
people are awesome.
Yeah, I am actually coming up to the end of my 2nd season. My season finale is going to be a Survivors episode. So after that, I am actually going to be taking a couple week hiatus just because I'm reformatting all of my audio and I'm moving my video to Patreon. So if you want to see the video footage of my episodes, you got to slide on over there and pay for a subscription. So, and that's just so that money can go towards buying new equipment or buying things for my show or just merchandise in general. So,
yeah, I'm in the growing part. So I'm just like, okay, how can I do this and have fun? So that's what I'm doing. Awesome.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I'm doing it for fun, but fun is not free. So
right. Oh gosh, and podcasts take time. I mean, like my buddy and I, we're like, okay, we're gonna try to keep this to an hour. And then like it's a 2-hour podcast. So it's like, okay. But but when you get to people that you could just have good conversations and entertaining conversations, there's so few things that are that much awesome. That awesome. Well, I can't even talk today. Oh, sweet. All right. So, what's your creative process?
What do you mean?
So, as in, like, where do you find your inspiration, or like when you're sitting down to like write a script or something like that? Like, what's your process in like creating your podcast or your comedy routine, writing?
So, for my comedy, I honestly have not even gotten to use most of what I've written just because my Ho handbook is a 45-minute set that I wrote. So, usually I just pick pieces of it for my live stage
Uh-huh.
comedy and it usually works out. But honestly, I usually just go off the top of my head. I'm
Yeah.
literally insane. So some of the stuff that comes out of my mouth, people are like, "What did she just say?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, baby, I said it." You know, um, and that's kind of where I pull it into my podcasting is all stage time. Like I went into how the different branches of the military get down.
Mhm.
And there were some things that I said on stage on Valentine's Day this year that had nothing to do with what I wrote down. It just happened, and I was also incredibly drunk, so that's a big start too. Um, because even though I have no filter to begin with, if I get a little whiskey, because that's what I drink, I'm a whiskey girl,
Mm.
straight whiskey too, no chaser, no mixer, none of that. Just I'm a trash can. Just give me the shot and like let's call it a day.
You
But
would get along perfect with my wife. My wife, yep. I'll introduce you sometime. Yep,
yeah, next
yep.
time I'm in Iowa, we can take the metal detectors and go find some
Oh
stuff.
yes,
You'll-
yes, absolutely.
But yeah, I don't drink as much anymore, obviously, for
Mhm.
reasons because I had an issue beforehand. But I would also like to mention as a side note that Slipknot whiskey is smooth. That is good stuff right there. So try it out if you have not yet.
I have a bottle unopened.
Yeah, I love that
Uh,
stuff.
I
But
I need to put my studio together because I have like so much Star Wars and stuff. But I'm like, you know what? The blurry background just works.
I am literally in a corner of my bedroom, so
Yeah, yep. I hear you.
get in where you fit in.
That's
But
smart.
yeah, that was a little side note. But yeah, most of the stuff that comes out of my mouth just comes off the top of my head.
Hmm.
And because I've always been a storyteller, I used to teach classes on how to better please your partner at a club. So I have millions of stories just stored in here
Hmm.
that just sometimes come out of my mouth when I'm on stage. So
Hey, I'm
that's the creative process.
I'm semi that way too. Like I like when I sit down to write things, like things it's a lot harder than just like, oh, okay, I have an idea and I can just do it. I actually want to do a podcast that's semi scripted, but like about a support group for people with super ish powers. My buddy and I are developing it right now. And like
Awesome.
so we would give you like you would have your superpower to be like I could fly but only 6 feet in the air and only at like 5 miles an hour, right? So or like one person's superpower is all of their limbs, and I mean all of their limbs are invisible, but not their torso, you know? So, and then there's an overarching mystery that's included in there. So right now we're trying to figure out how to make it like it'll be streaming, but like how are we gonna, some logistics of it. But I actually got a bunch of it scripted, the whole thing. So I'll let you know when that comes up because I think you'd be awesome at it.
Yeah, that would be dope. I do some acting on the side. I am actually directing and filming a TV show of my own. So, but it consists of different sketches.
Uh-huh.
So,
Sweet. That
yeah,
is
like right
awesome.
now we're working on Stray Date, which is kind of like the bottom of the barrel dating. And it'll end up going into a speed dating round, a live filming for a speed dating round, which is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for that.
That sounds like fun. I've actually never done that. I've never
Yeah.
never went speed dating. Um, I man, when I was in the military, I had a 3 week rule. I wouldn't date a girl for more than 3 weeks, and I was upfront about it. I was like, all right, we'll have fun, not look for anything serious. 3 weeks. If you don't want to do anything, that's fine. Not gonna push you, but I can be called away at a moment's notice, and I don't want to be worried about you. So you know what? and that and people
3 weeks
liked
and
it
you
or
got to
didn't
get
like
the
it.
boot.
Yeah, I'm like 3 weeks. Oh, 3 weeks is up. I'm now. And then there's a couple that maybe a couple, a month or so later, we, another 3 weeks. But yeah,
You know,
whatever. Yeah,
it's still a 3 week limitation.
right. So because I love the idea of horror, especially in the Star Wars universe, what Disney property do you think would make a good horror story in Star Wars, or not even in Star Wars. We'll say what Disney property do you think could be turned around and made an excellent horror story?
Any Disney? Doesn't have to be
Any
Star Wars, just any. All right.
Any Disney.
Rapunzel. No,
Yeah.
Rapunzel. Rapunzel would be great for a horror story. A baby kidnapped, held prisoner for 18 years, finally escapes with the help of a thief, you know, and then finds their way back to back to where she belongs, so to speak. And then the woman ends up killing her captor,
Right, she could strangle people with her hair.
My son seconded it with Snow White, which is, one of my favorite, Disney's. But
so my wife's all-time favorite is Snow White. She's actually getting a sleeve of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs right now.
Very nice. Yeah, I have my little outline, my silhouette. But this is going to be a Disney and Miyazaki sleeve because I have Calcifer from House Moving Castle.
Cool.
The only reason I didn't say Snow White is because there's already been a horror Snow White with Sigourney Weaver, one of my top horror movies to begin with, because that movie was like, oh my! I saw it when I was young.
Yeah,
Snow White is one of my favorites. So I was like, this is horrible, but I was like, this is kind of cool,
Right?
Yeah,
that's not the Snow White I remember, but.
Right, and I used to have it on DVD, and I cannot find this movie anywhere that's not like expensive as heck. So I've been trying to find it to buy it to own it again, but we'll see.
I think I saw it on like Amazon or somewhere as well, like for sale for like $5. Yeah.
I'll have to find that then, because I love that movie, and the girl who played Snow White, like top tier. Hot.
Yeah, who was that? Now
Monica Keena. Monica Keena. And I believe she is an adult actress as well.
Yes, I believe that name sounds so. I think wasn't she in?
I'm actually looking her up now because I don't know what else she was in.
I think she's in Yellowstone, maybe.
I don't watch TV, so
yeah.
Yellowstone.
She's in Dawson's Creek. I didn't know that.
That's okay. Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking of.
She's in Freddy vs. Jason.
That movie was pretty awesome. Sam Neill was in it too. 1997.
Oh yeah.
A Tale for Terror. I love me some Sam Neill. Have you seen? This is one of my favorite horror movies. In the Mouth of Madness. It's very, very Stephen King-y. I mean, as a matter of fact, it's about like a guy who writes horror books, and the books are coming alive for him. I mean, like Sam Neill's in it. It is so amazing.
I'll have to check that out. Monica Keena was in Nightmare on Elm Street too. I didn't know that.
Oh, was she? Really? She had to be.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, and Freddy vs. Jason, While You Were Sleeping, After. Yeah, she's got a really good IMDb. Yeah, awesome. So, are you into like superheroes and stuff like that at all?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm into it.
All right. Well, I got to hear. Then I want to know both. Both you and Luke. What's your favorite Marvel movie?
Deadpool.
Is that Marvel?
I think
Deadpool is a Marvel character, yes, and
he's basically a Marvel character.
And so, Luke, you are wise amongst your years.
He really is. He knows more than I do. I actually really liked Black Widow and Shang-Chi. So,
and my second
Black Widow is my girl. So
my second pick would be Iron Man because
the second pick would be Iron Man. He said as a follow-up.
Deadpool is one of my. I'm a huge comic. I collect comic books. I go to the comic book store weekly. So, I'm more of a DC fan than Marvel, but like my Marvel is X-Men, and Deadpool and Wolverine are my favorite.
We actually have a book. It's an X-Men encyclopedia. So
I'll show you real quick.
No, it's in the closet. I'm not talking about that one. We have one that's a pop-up book. And you open it, and it literally has all of the superheroes in it. Yeah. But I don't know if that one is DC or Marvel. He's going to find it.
That's fine.
But I also have like gigantic like foil the Batman and Flash poster. They're not posters. They're like the squared out ones. They're framed out, but they're actually in the closet right now because I know where else to put them. So.
Yes, if I ever get a chance, I have a dream pitch that would connect Marvel and DC, and it would actually create a whole nother universe as well. So, like,
interesting.
My pitch for connecting them would all
DC.
hinder around Deadpool. And
that's why is it always Deadpool, man?
Because you could do anything with him. But like Deadpool finds the Infinity Stones and he eats them. But then they make him sick, so he shits them back out. But now Deadpool, because he ingested all of the Infinity Stones, now Deadpool is in all of these different universes, DC and all that. But now this new overly powered Deadpool, he liked all the people at DC, so he decides to start bringing people over to this universe. Anyway, but yeah, it gets a little bit crazier from there. But all right.
So it's a little bit worse for wear, but it's a DC superhero pop-up book, right?
That's pretty awesome. My favorite DC character is Green Arrow, Nightwing, and Green Lantern. That is freaking awesome.
So yeah, and it tells you every single one.
Go on the back.
Yeah, that's
because they got more on the back.
Oh yeah, and then there's more on the back of it too. So when you open it, it has all of them.
Oh,
and
so cool.
Each of the pages that it has, like this one is Batman, of course.
The first one's
it has little ones. We're not going to go through each one, but it has little ones.
Yeah.
Little ones in between where
that tells. And if you look,
like there's the car.
Batmobile,
like how cool is that?
If you look, it tells the story.
Yeah, and it tells the background story, the origin story.
That's so cool.
It is, and we've spent many. That's why it's so like worse for wear right now, because we spend many a time looking through this. But I also have a Stan Lee book where he goes through and he talks about creating, like you push the buttons and it's him talking. Yeah, throughout the entire book.
Alive.
Yeah, obviously. You gotta go back.
Yeah.
But
that's so cool.
Come on. Yeah, but you click each button. My son used to listen to it to fall asleep, as strange as that sounds. But he would go through and he click each button and he would talk about, creating Spider-Man and the comic books and things like that. So
all right. So what's your favorite DC then?
Favorite DC would be Wonder Woman. I have the cosplay. I even have the cosplay bronze tiara. So.
I would do Flash.
And he would do Flash. Flash is A1 day one. So
yep.
Yeah,
Flash
it's Wonder Woman for me.
Awesome. What's your favorite anime or animated movie? Both.
He's Dragon Ball Z before you even finish. Are you in this conversation or it's gonna be Sailor Moon for me.
Awesome.
Inuyasha is a close second, but I love Sailor Moon. Period. I've seen all Sailor Moon. I love it.
I try to get Leia into Sailor Moon, and I try to get her into Pokemon, and she's too into her iPad. So
I am actually working on a Sailor Venus cosplay at the moment.
Did I hear right? She doesn't want to.
I want to get into cosplay. So we had for Wakanda Forever, we had a whole bunch of the cosplayers come out for the movie, and it was pretty awesome. I mean, there's a guy who was dressed up as M'Baku, and
that's dope.
Right, he was clubbing me in the head. It was awesome, so cool.
I actually took him to something. It's called Kids Con. They had around here, and it had like the Avengers were there, just a bunch of people in cosplay, and Spider-Man was there. A bunch of like YouTubers too. So there was just like a lot of people. We're gonna go again next year when I'm finished my Wonder Woman costume. I have to find
breastplate
part because it has to be custom made because sadly enough they're just not big enough. So
that's okay.
Unfortunately.
Well, she's wondering
for
a reason. Right? Yeah, exactly. All right. What about PlayStation or Xbox?
Now, we play Xbox in this house, but I am a PlayStation girl.
PlayStation.
I'm talking back on PlayStation 2 Champions of Norath, okay?
Ooh, you are going old school there.
I loved that game. Loved that game.
So is that your all-time favorite video game then?
Is it my all-time favorite video game? That is a good question. I don't even find it.
I would
No,
say mine Call of Duty Black Ops.
he likes Call of Duty Black Ops. That's his favorite of all time. I'd have to say no, because there was a game that I used to play, and it was called Fusion Frenzy on Xbox. And it
Okay.
was like a bunch of mini games. But my friend recently bought it and downloaded it. And we played it again, and I was like, this game sucks. But it was like my all-time favorite game at that time, so I'll have to go with that. But I also had a game. What game was it? Dragon Quest. And I still have it on PlayStation. I still have PlayStation 2. I actually have an entire binder full of, if you remember, they had the PlayStation magazine to give you a game disc.
Yeah.
I have all of them.
Really?
All of them. Yes.
Those are probably worth some money. Those are probably worth some money. If not, they
Probably,
will
but
be.
I'm sure they're a little scratched up and all
Yeah.
because it's been a long time.
Right. Yeah. That was the best. So such a good marketing idea for those little demos.
Genius.
Oh my gosh. I do miss the old games where you had to play to unlock things instead of like,
Yes.
hey, but pay an extra $60 so you can play this downloadable content.
And you know what? I was shell shocked because I bought my son has a Switch. And I bought Mortal Kombat for his Switch. And it was like $60 for it. And we finished the game, and it was like, to unlock part 2, pay another $60. I was like, I'm not paying $120 for the full game. Are you out of your mind? Like, I was in there cursing. Because he was obviously asleep when I beat the game.
You liar.
I love
Nice
Mortal
New Year's.
Kombat. Oh man, so good, so good. So, what about this? Last question. What is your favorite song to rock out to? So the song that just gets you going every time.
Devil and I, Slipknot.
Very cool. I like how you're bringing it home to the Iowa roots. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. All right. So where can we find you? Where can we follow you? Where can we give you those virtual high fives?
Well, my Cash App is. No, I'm just kidding. No.
And I will include that in the show notes.
Hey, no, but I have a website. It's Kanooble, KANOOBLE.com. That's where you can find kind of everything I'm working on, including my mental health project. But there is also a specific website for that, and that is mentallyKillproject.org.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on here. It's been so fun getting to know you.
Yeah, I've had a great time.
Yeah, this is so much fun. So you could tweet at me at Fandemic3. You could message me on Facebook at The Fandemic. Also active on TikTok now and then at Fandemic1. If you want to support the show, there are several ways to do so. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/thefandemic. You can find us at Patreon at patreon.com/PVOTN Fandemic. You can become an episode assistant, episode producer, or yes, you could be part of the Council of Nerds, starting at $5 a month. Go to anchor.fm/PVOTN, or just share the show with someone you want to make a little more awesome. Also, don't forget to leave a 5-star review. Now, in closing, I like to end things in a positive way. What are your words of wisdom?
All right. My words of wisdom are to not fake anything about yourself. No faking smiles, no faking appearances, no faking orgasms. Be your true, authentic self.
Love it, love it, love it. We're all playing the same game in life, just on a different level. Thanks for catching up. You're welcome for leveling up your awesome. Live free or die empty. If you think about it, every time you feel stupid, you just got a little smarter. Also, squirrels' cheeks are their nutsacks. Have a great day.